In this part, I will talk about how to make ghost animations. Let's go back to the code. We want to add another sprite. I'm calling this a sprite, but whatever. We need another one of these. Let's call them ghost 1 and 2. Now, let's change this one so it looks a little bit different. Just like that. Easy. Now that we have two different arrays with ghosts, two different views of the same one, we want to add them in the a common list. Let's create a dictionary. Which is generic. So let's add int and a string array. And we'll call it ghosts, like that. We need to add using system collections generic, and in the constructor we need to store these ghost 1 and 2 in this. So ghosts 0 equals this one, and ghost 1 will contain ghost 2. In the plot function, we need to change this and add the array index. So ghosts. So now we print the ghosts, the ghost with index 0, which is the first one, that one, and then the second array here is the different rows in the string array. So let's see if this works. We need to recompile. Ghosts, it is warning, field ghost is never assigned to. Okay. What is my mistake here? Let's see. Okay, we need to create an instance of the ghost, of course. There we go. The name ghost does not exist in the current context. Which line? 29. Okay. There. Okay. And it does exactly the same thing as before. Now we need to add code to change this to 1. As we can see, it's the first sprite that is being printed. If I change this to 1 and recompile, it will display the other one. Okay, so let's change this to animation. Here we need a private animation. In the constructor, we set the initial animation to 0. Okay. Now we need to add a counter that will count for a number of times and then change the animation. So we need more variables here. Let's call it a timer, and we need animation speed. In the constructor, we set the timer to 0. And the animation speed could actually be determined or set by the constructor. So, but we can get back to that. Animation speed equals, let's try 100. In the plot function, we now increase the timer. And then we say that if the timer has reached the animation speed, then we want to change the animation. We increase it and check if the animation has reached 2. If it has, we set it back to 0. Okay, now to try this, we need to create an unplot function. Public void unplot. It is quite similar to this plot function. Copy this forward, and we want to go to the same positions, and here we want to write empty spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see if this actually is compiling. Ghost 64 expected. All right. Okay, so it still works. If I use the unplot function, for example, Ghost 2, it should delete the red one. And it does. Good. Okay. So now we need to create a loop where we are plotting and unplotting the ghosts and see if it works. Let's create a while loop, while true. We move the plot functions down to the while loop. Like that. Here we unplot ghosts. Now this will make probably this will work, but we may need to set a short pause or sleep here. Otherwise, it will plot and unplot equally fast, and we want it to render nice. So we want to use system threading thread sleep Let's set it to 100 milliseconds. Okay, is this still compiling? It is not. Thread. Unreachable code detected. Okay, it will never reach this part. It's fine for now. Let's try. Okay, so it's looping, but it's not working the way I wanted it to. Oh, there we got a change. Let's break this. There we go. Okay, let's change this. Okay, let's try without this first. There you see what I mean. We need to have that part. But let's set it to, for example, 40. It's still too much, but it's actually animating. Let's go back to Ghost and change the animation speed to whatever, 30. Compile and run. Okay, still too slow. 15, and in main we change this sleep to 20. Okay, it changes one time, but whenever the timer has reached the animation speed limit, it also, of course, needs to be set back to 0. Let's try it out. Compile, run. Okay. The animation actually works the way I wanted it. Let's see what happens if I change the animation speed to 5. Okay. We have now created an animation for the ghosts. You can, of course, use many more than 2 if you're creating a, I don't know, any type of game. If you want to make ships or I don't know, anything you like, you can use any number of sprites you want. You just need to set or change the animation limit here to the number of sprites you're using. And that's it for this part.